I never imagined that one text notification could demolish 10 years of my life. At 2:17 a.m., a pale glow pierced the darkness of our Chicago bedroom. It wasn't my phone lighting up. It was hers, resting face up on the nightstand. Just a fragment of the message preview was visible, a name I didn't know. Julian. Still buzzing from tonight. Can't stop thinking about that hotel room. Beside me, my wife, Sarah, slept soundly. Her breathing was calm, steady, completely unaware that everything around us was about to explode. My chest tightened. The air seemed to vanish from my lungs as an icy knot formed in my stomach. Hotel room? And who the hell was Julian? In that instant, I understood something with terrifying clarity. The life I believed in was already over. If you truly enjoy our stories, subscribe to the channel. Let us know where you're watching from and what time it is in your part of the world. It's incredible to see how far these stories travel. For weeks after that night, I drifted through a haze of doubt. Sarah had changed. She felt like a stranger, wearing my wife's face. The warmth we once shared had faded into polite, artificial smiles. Whenever I asked about her schedule, she blamed late nights at the firm. She'd brush her lips against my cheek and sigh dramatically. This merger is exhausting me. Her phone became an extension of her body, always angled away, always within reach, like it held state secrets. Then the small inconsistencies began stacking up. Credit card charges from upscale restaurants on Rush Street, places I had never set foot in. A costly new perfume she only wore on those supposed work nights. She'd come home carrying that scent, along with something else, a faint trace of another man's cologne. The manipulation was the most painful part. If I gently asked how her evening went, she would snap back. "Why are you interrogating me, Mark? Don't you trust me?" She twisted my concern into suspicion. Somehow I became the unstable one, the paranoid husband with issues. She was so convincing that I began doubting myself. I felt diminished, ashamed, questioning my own judgment. Meanwhile, she and this invisible figure, Julian, moved through my life like untouchable villains. The turning point arrived on a rainy Tuesday. She claimed she was having dinner with colleagues at a downtown steakhouse. But something inside me refused to stay quiet. Against my better judgment, I drove past the restaurant. Her car wasn't there. A sickening instinct guided me several blocks away to the parking structure attached to the Omni Chicago Hotel. I scanned the levels. There it was. Her Lexus. 3rd floor. I parked across the street, rain streaking down my windshield, heart pounding violently in my chest. An hour later, they appeared. Sarah was laughing, genuinely laughing, the way she used to with me. Her arm was looped through a tall man with slicked back hair and an air of smug confidence. Under the warm glow of a street lamp, he pulled her close and kissed her. Not a quick greeting. A deep, intimate kiss. They walked away together, fingers intertwined. In that moment, something inside me shattered. The pain wasn't abstract, it was physical, like a blade twisting in my abdomen. I drove home in a daze. City lights smeared into meaningless streaks. I sat alone in the living room we had decorated side by side and cried. Not only for her betrayal, but for the version of myself that no longer existed, the trusting, devoted husband she had destroyed. That night, grief hardened into something colder, something deliberate. While she slept peacefully, I began my transformation. I remembered an old baby monitor we once used, one capable of recording audio. I charged it and concealed it beneath our bed. Pain became my motivation. I started documenting everything. Using recovery software, I restored deleted messages from our shared cloud account. What I found made my stomach churn. Detailed plans, private jokes, graphic descriptions of their time in hotel rooms while I waited at home believing my wife was working late. I saved screenshots, photographed credit card statements, logged every suspicious night and flimsy excuse. Julian wasn't some random affair. He was a partner at a competing investment firm. Their relationship extended beyond romance. They were blending business with pleasure. Their texts revealed exchanges of confidential information between their companies. This wasn't merely adultery. It was professional sabotage. Sarah had perfected deception. She'd speak sweetly to me on the phone, then mock me. In messages to him minutes later, she described me as dull, predictable, easy to fool. Reading those words felt like swallowing shards of glass. But I continued. My heartbreak crystallized into a singular objective: calculated revenge. The strategy took shape slowly. I didn't want simple exposure. I wanted to dismantle everything she had constructed on lies. I retained one of Chicago's most aggressive divorce attorneys, Mr. Harrison. I presented him with the complete archive: texts, images, recordings, and especially evidence of corporate misconduct. His reaction told me everything. In Illinois, adultery combined with misuse of marital assets and economic wrongdoing could drastically affect financial settlements. That was the decisive strike. We planned the timing carefully. I selected the night of her firm's annual charity gala, an event she valued more than our wedding anniversary. It was her showcase, her opportunity to impress clients and reinforce her image as a rising executive star. 2 days prior, following Harrison's advice, I transferred half of our joint savings into a protected account. I packed my essentials. On the night of the gala, she looked flawless in a shimmering gown. "You're not coming?" she asked, irritation flickering in her eyes. "I'm not feeling great," I replied evenly. "Go enjoy yourself." She smiled with faint superiority and walked out the door, unaware it would be for the last time. 1 hour into the gala, everything collapsed. Harrison electronically filed the divorce petition and arranged for certified copies to be delivered to her office. Simultaneously, I sent a comprehensive dossier to the boards of both her firm and Julian's. The email included undeniable proof of their affair. More critically, it documented their exchange of proprietary business information, complete with screenshots referencing clients and strategic plans. Audio recordings captured them laughing about deceiving me. The consequences were immediate. I later learned that her supervisor interrupted her speech mid-presentation. She was terminated on the spot and escorted out in her evening gown, stunned and pale. Julian was suspended pending investigation, an inquiry that would ultimately destroy his career. When Sarah returned home, she found new locks on the doors. Her designer belongings sat boxed on the porch. Divorce papers were taped to the E entrance. I watched from inside as she stood frozen under the porch light, disbelief etched across her face. The confident, untouchable woman was gone. In her place stood someone shattered. Her calls went unanswered. Her frantic texts received no reply. In a single calculated move, I had stripped away her career, reputation, lover, and home. The following weeks were consumed by court proceedings. In the courtroom, she appeared diminished. No trace of her former composure. The judge reviewed the overwhelming evidence and showed little sympathy. I was awarded the house and the majority of our shared assets. She received no alimony due to severe marital and financial misconduct. She walked away burdened by debt and disgrace. Socially, the impact was equally severe. Our mutual friends, after seeing the evidence, sided with me. She became isolated. Eventually, I heard she had moved back in with her parents in a small town outside Miami. The powerful Chicago executive no longer existed. Then this morning, news broke. Julian, disgraced and under threat of legal consequences, was found in his downtown apartment. Reports were vague, but the implication was unmistakable. The pressure had overwhelmed him. When I read the headline, I felt nothing. No triumph, no sympathy, only an unsettling emptiness. The battle was finished. I had prevailed. Yet standing alone, in the silence of my house, I understood something unexpected. Victory felt just as hollow as defeat. My revenge was complete. But the woman I once loved had become nothing more than a shadow in a life I barely recognized. The end.